seeing what came out. This is death, right?
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, on this side, I'm not used to the opposite. It's death, which is all a Scorpio card, transformation, and the Two of Pentacles, which is about balancing what's coming in with what's going out. This is very much about energetic exchange. And then at the bottom of the deck, guess who's there? The Emperor. The Emperor.
Wow.
Right? Like balancing this transformation. Like, look, does this make sense to you? Like, that's crazy. That's crazy to me.
You know, I am not surprised anything anymore because I am used
it's all connected. I mean, like, seriously, like these things, it's just interesting. I always like backup from the cards because, you know, I connect very heavily with the tarot, you know, and underneath that's the Eight of Wands, which is about quick messages. And I don't know, this is very, I think I'm really glad to be a part of this, you know. Oscar, it's really great to meet you in this life again. Like, I knew when I met you, I was like, people throw it around, throw the terminology around. Oh, well, you know, there's a lot of familiarity because many of us have been here or somewhere else many, many times. And I, you know, what I believe somewhat about our infinite nature and these parallel dimensions that probably infinite as well. There's a lot of interaction. Everything is definitely, in my opinion, in my view, linked together. This is definitely, and we're coming to a very important time, you know, a transitional time, and it's very important to understand these old characters. And I think that we were misled. I don't think on accident by a lot of things being changed in history, especially timing and just little things that you can follow, and you can find these truths if you know where to look. So please keep looking, keep researching, and keep sharing this information with us.
You know, I love it. I am researching, man. Yeah.
You just light up, you just glow. Like whenever, and we've just for a little background, Oscar and I are very ancient friends, but even in this life, we've had many conversations. And I wish that we had some at least edited recordings of some of our conversations. We'll have to do that in the future because I don't know, I at least leave the conversation with so much in my mind and so much more, many more connections made that spark my curiosity to dive down more rabbit holes, you know. That's one of my favorite places to be.
By the way, Jesse, you know, we will make videos, tarot cards. We will discuss because I am not good at tarot, you know. And
you say that.
I learned from Jesse, but
like, I don't have time for that.
Oh yeah.
Stuff going on.
But
I hear you.
I want to exchange my thoughts with you because when I see cards, sometimes this reminds me something maybe different.
Yeah.
So I
That's
just
what it's
want
all about. These things, these archetypes are already familiar to us. Like our, if nothing else, our body remembers. You know, our ancient, our ancestral memory remembers.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
There's a lot that we don't even recognize, we don't even recognize the energetics of the human existence and the human spirit, you know. That is something that is a gross oversight, but in my opinion, but like, I think it's just a big missing piece of the puzzle in a lot of ways. And we start really acknowledging and honoring that part of ourselves, like no matter how you choose to frame it, you know. It's beyond religion, it's beyond anything else. It's a recognition of you know, inner divinity in each other, and hopefully that'll, you know, either give us some good compassion with each other, or maybe you know, give us the courage to at least fight the good fight in the spiritual sense, if
especially for collective consciousness.
You know, we need to start realizing that we're all, you know, look, we're worlds apart, you know, and like, look how beautiful a connection can be, you know. And that's definitely something that astrology gave to me, you know, personally, that I'm very grateful for. You know, I met you, fantastic people, and I think we need to find more ways that we recognize these connections between us, you know, and expand our consciousness so we don't just ruin ourselves, eradicate ourselves. You know, let's live.
This is, you know, I want to tell people when we met Jesse, we met, it is like I am very familiar. I have known Jesse for 1,000 years.
Yeah.
Really, this is.
We tried to meet in a dream the very first night.
Really, seriously, this is like just I have brothers. My mom, this is not like my very close. No, this is not something. This is like just I know, like I know her soul, spirit for a very long time.
It was an instant recognition for sure.
Yeah,
it was a very it's very comfortable. It was very comfortable home, and to like both be Scorpio suns in the tropical. It's very, very interesting. I mean, it was very, very easy for me. I was like, no, you're my family. And then at the same time, I really didn't know like where Turkey, my last name is Turkey, so where that came from. And I was speaking to someone in Italy.
Like a Turkey.
Strange Italian last name. I don't know anybody else except for my family that has it. And he was like, do you know what that means? I was like, I sure don't. He sent me, actually he educated me on my ancient past. And it was the same time that I had just met you. And I was like, oh, he's like, it means of the Turks. And I mean, it's actually it's a slang that many older Italians use that's considered very racist at this point. Some of the things. I'll have to look up the quotes. It was like, oh no, the Turks are coming, you know.
Turks is,
you know, yeah. And so they say Turkey. It's Turkey. That's my last name. And so it's considered kind of a racial slur to use. Yeah. And I was like, are you kidding me right now? While at the same time, seriously, at the same time this conversation is happening with someone I met in Italy, I'm speaking to you and I'm like, I know you. I know you're my family. And I'm just like, wait a minute. I mean, the confirmations, like little confirmations, little things like how we even came, this strange long story of how we came to our very interesting channel name. You know, the path has just been so enlightening in so many ways. And it just makes me curious to find out more. And like two Scorpios digging for secrets, like I can't think of a better thing, you know, and something I'd rather be more involved in. I'm very excited, you know, very excited.
Yeah. By the way, Jesse's Jupiter in 4th house, my Jupiter in Cancer. Same, like, you know, Cancer 4th house. It's so interesting, really.
I know, it's crazy. And it's crazy, like, so Oscar made another video about how he showed that we were ancient friends by using astrocartography and actually switching our birth cities, and both of our Mercuries moved to the IC.
Yeah.
Like which family, and then Mercury's siblings, like
absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, because Mercury just blows me away. Like you having Neptune in the 1st house, I have Neptune conjunct Mercury. It's like, like I have 2 more people in my life that are immediate vicinity. That's my sister and the guy I'm dating right now, and probably several others. I have to really look at their charts, but Mercury conjunct Neptune.
Yeah, like, it means such a conjunction, Jesse, and your moon is Gemini. So it is like past. It means you in your past, you will encounter in this life. You will be together. You will be together because conjunction.
Yeah.
With your very ancient sibling.
Yeah.
Neptune, very ancient sibling in a very unexpected, because Neptune, this is like a hidden, something hidden came out. And also in solar return, you remember my solar return, I see conjuncts with your moon, and my moon opposite moon. It means you will encounter with someone, and it is 12 hours in my solar return. You will encounter with someone from past life, but unexpected way. It's Aquarius. So interesting.
It's wild. It's wild. Yeah, and that's my MC. Yeah, right. Exactly. And then Leo is like, woof, like there's just so much there.
Jesse, you remember in solar return, Pluto conjuncts Pluto MC and Uranus ascendant.
Oh yeah.
So I actually
seeing those for that that time, it was very like solar returns. Like, I mean, how crazy is that little delve that the astrology has so many different layers. It's very, very interesting. I can't wait to explore more of this video. Like
I will make video about solar return, but I want to tell people forget everything about solar return.
I'm gonna tell you, Oscar, I've learned some very interesting things, and yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm really anxious to put my head together with yours on this one because I know we often see some interesting things, but I've learned some things about solar return,
Yeah.
and I know that you have too, because you know, like we always approach everything with an incredulous mind. We're like, oh, I don't know about that. That seems kind of like, you know, because there's so much information in a chart.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think when I started kind of really, really delving deeper into astrology beyond just having a chart and just having an interpretation and going, well, okay, well, this is interesting, right? But what do I do with it? What do I do with it? And what does it mean? And like, I think it's so interesting because the more you get into it, it's the more that you uncover. You kind of peel back the onion layers and you see these connections and these messages that are just very plain as day, easy to see. And like, I would say if you really understand any system of astrology, you know, to some degree, it's very useful, you know. And I've been actually getting a little bit more into Vedic with my friend in India, like has been, you know, teaching me the ropes of Vedic. And it's very, I'll tell you, Oscar, it's very interesting because well, number one, their mind is different. Like their social mind
I know.
is in the way that they approach society and society versus the individual, you know, and what they value, right, and how they approach things is very interesting. And so totally makes sense that they have a different system. But the it's so strange that a lot of the relationships, right, they are described in similar ways but for different reasons. And it's they work, they absolutely work if you can get past the fact that that they're just different ways of interpreting information, you know, in different varying degrees of depth in different ways. Then you can start to really see some similarities as far as how the energy is described, even in a different nakshatra or what have you, in a different sign, so to speak. So
Yeah. I read some books about Vedic astrology. They are totally different way. Just you know, my way of astrology. This is like Vedic or classical astrology. Okay, your chart is like that, and you blah blah. Blah. Your chart says you are like this, you are like this. But my thinking of way is different. I believe everybody has strong energy.
Yes.
Them and how we get out, bring out this energy. I am not in, okay. Your Venus is in Virgo. Some people, some friends say, my Venus is in Virgo. This is why I cannot find love. I say,
that's ridiculous.
Yeah, ridiculous.
That you have to adjust your appreciation.
Yeah.
For that, like, so you have to play to your strengths, just like anything, right?
Yeah.
My Venus retrograde in Scorpio. Like I had to, right? Well, I'll do an episode about my retrograde experience because actually it's I've made some progress with that, and I'm quite grateful and humbled by how wonderful it can really, and what a gift, all these challenges are just, stop looking at them as curses. They are blessings in disguise. They get you off your butt and give you something to overcome. And apparently you need that. And apparently I mean, I believe we chose this stuff, you know, for ourselves. You know, I know myself by now, and I do like a good challenge. I don't like being bored, and I definitely do not have a boring life. There is no doubt about that. And I always say, like, even if it's a little bit, there's some mishaps and some things that don't go according to plan. My life, at least it's not boring, you know. Because who came here to lead a boring life? I sure did not.
I want to give you one example. My Venus is in Libra, but I couldn't find love. I am single guy. Now I am not married. My brother Venus is in Taurus. He's single. Okay, he has had many girlfriends. Just but
very Venusian. Very Venusian.
No true relationship, no love.
Yeah, they are sensual.
I have a friend. She has Venus is Virgo. Jesse, and retro. What I find out, she her grandfather reincarnated her, and her grandfather died at 45 age, cancer, in cancer. He died because why he became cancer? Because his wife cheated him, and his wife had baby from another man. They are married. Imagine. And this man, yeah, this was terrible. And Venus, why Venus is in Virgo retro? It says you made a mistake in previous life. You choose wrong person. In this life, be careful and choose carefully. It doesn't mean
enough to do so, as long as they can find, it really, Oscar, I like I'm a lone practitioner of magic. I have some very magical people in my life now that I've attracted, but I came to this very given to me. It was a gift and a challenge, right? And it's very interesting, like how powerful we really are, and when you start to take responsibility for that, that's when magic can happen. Like when you stop being a victim of everything happening to you, and I have no choices. You do have some very powerful choices in your life, and how you channel these energies we all have within us somewhere in our charts. It's very, very it's very useful. I found it very useful to use astrology, and I don't like that astrology sometimes limits people, because really within our limits, like with Saturn, like within our limits, we work hard, it can set us free, because once we know where the walls are, once we know where the bars are, we can break them, but we need to learn the rules like a master to break them like an artist. Like, I think that's an Osho quote, if I'm not mistaken, but I've always loved it, because how can you break out of prison where you don't understand what's holding you? You don't understand how it's contained. Like, how can you understand anything without some framing it somehow, at least temporarily? It's very important. So all of these things, even Saturn, even Mars, right? With Mars, we'd have no energy without Mars, right? We'd just be all laying around. Who knows what we would be doing?
Jesse, about planets and their how we my thoughts, because I believe my Mars is in Leo and in 8th house. Actually, Mars is about sexual energy, because Mars, this is why this is our animal instinct. You can't okay, anyone says you will never have sex, no one can stop this, because this is why this is unconsciousness. You can't stop your sexual energy. This is Mars. And Jesse, if I don't, why I have strong energy to, because 8th house is not only the house of sex. This is house of also occult
dynamics.
Occult knowledge. I use my animal instinct. This animal.
How are you gonna use that power? Are you gonna use it for good? Or are you gonna
use it for self-serving purposes? If I don't use that,
like light and darkness, like whatever you don't integrate into your conscious mind rules you from unconscious place. And we're powerful creators and destroyers.
Jesse, this is, if I don't do that, actually this is Mars, a sexual power, and it is in very strong in,
it can control you if you don't acknowledge it. You don't take responsibility.
So I cannot stop this. Then I will want every day more sex. This is sexual power. But if you use this, for example, and also anger, if I don't do that, why I have very like unlimited energy?
Well, it's like a compression chamber. Like if you compress something and it's just heating up and boiling up, if there's no release valve, then of course you're gonna have an explosion on your hands. You're gonna have outbursts. But what is driving that, right? And how can you use that and and channel it, because that's what a magician does, right? That's we're all, in my view, we're all powerful mages and creators, you know, whether we acknowledge it in one way or another. So what we're doing is we're getting the energy from the universe, from the earth, from, you know, our very souls, and how are you going to channel it? Are you just going to let it build up and pressurize and just explode? Or are you going to actually use it? Are you going to take responsibility for your role in this life and just use it for something that you really see? Finding out where to put your energy is such a huge part of life. I mean, it has a lot to do with your life path just in general, and how you use your energy responsible. Because like the more energy that you have and that you take responsibility for, I mean, that's a lot of energy, and then you learn how to hold it, right, and release it at particular times, and that's where astrology really comes in handy. You know, and being in touch with yourself, because you'll naturally follow those patterns.
So Mars is, we need to, for example, Mars in Cancer, very problematic, you know. But
for
example,
it's not there for sure.
My solution, I have some astro friends. I say, in Mars, just like psychology or karma, or if you are not interested in karma or psychology, for example, you can all-time cook at home, because Cancer, you can use this energy. You need to use this energy.
Absolutely. You can use it for you know what I mean, to reimagine, you know, and put energy to reshape your home. You know, you can put energy into your family, where you know,
also
you can actually
like work out at home.
And you're using, you know, you can become a general in your own home, like in a sense, you know, like hopefully a responsible one, and that durable. But these things teach us discipline, and how, and that would be, you know, Saturn and Mars, like even though they're both malefic, you put those together, and then you have like militant, like staying power, like routine, self-discipline, self-mastery. You know, these are things that can be accomplished with these energies when they're channeled properly. You know, you just don't let them, you don't like take responsibility, take accountability. That's what Saturn wants. Saturn wants your dedication. You know, it's that apprenticeship, you know, that learning through pain. I've been through an apprenticeship, you know, like I made it through a really great opportunity of an apprenticeship. Like it was hard, but I learned.
You know, I write I write some notes about course, and we in future we will write a book, but about Saturn. Simply, I tell everybody, this is very easy. Actually,
I would love to write a book about malefics, like a villain.
Like a villain. Yes. Actually, Saturn is really great. But
it's not though. It's not. It's tough. It is unwavering in its demand for your hard work and focus. And self-discipline's a pain in the butt. It's hard to have self-discipline.
Let me explain about Saturn very simple way. This is always when two person together, two and more, then Saturn starts working. Why? You know, Saturn exists in Libra. When more people, for example, in family.
I thought it exalts in Virgo.
Saturn exists in Libra, but why? I will explain why. Because in more than two persons together, they need to put some rules, because absolutely. You live not for partner, just for example, I visit you.
Agreements.
I stay in your house. Okay, then rules. I lose my freedom for myself. And a word for Saturn, I always start working before discipline. I say working. Why? Effort. Imagine why 10th house. Inward. Okay, you are tattoo artist. Now I am like astrologist. I am financier. Okay.
Saturn rules my 10th.
Yeah, 10th house. Someone is doctor, someone is businessman, someone, but it is like everybody. If no one works, we will be hunger. I use computer, so IT.
My creativity is stifled because my Saturn is in the fifth. Actually, what and it's in a T square most strongly with Mars, but also with the the moon. And to balance those two opposing energies has taught me so very much. And it's actually, that's why I say Saturn restrictions when you work hard will set you free, will like allow you to break the rules as an artist, and I mean Saturn in the fifth with node in the fifth, like that's actually I've had to employ a lot of self-discipline. Like sometimes I don't want to, or sometimes you got to work through a block, and like tattooing makes me do that because I need to. I think Mr. Gordon, a musician, famously said, "I don't need time, I need a deadline." I think next word. I don't know. I might have misquoted. I'm not sure, but I love that quote because I find that so true. I will literally procrastinate because I have so many things going on with my Gemini nature. But if I have a deadline, shit's getting done.
Jesse, this about Saturn, why I want to make people imagine. Just we need to work together. Okay. Imagine you go to office. Work starts 9 a.m. Imagine or coffee. Some garçon on some cooker. He says, I don't want to come today because I am free, no discipline, no rule. Everybody, then nothing works. This is why Saturn says restriction and discipline. Restriction, why? Because your freedom restrict, you must work. And imagine,
you don't have to, then how are you going to eat? How it actually limits your freedom to not work because you don't have any money. You don't have any means to like do these things that we like to do. So there's no freedom without restriction. Like we live in a dualistic.
If no one works, imagine no one.
The opposite, it will overtake you.
If no one works, no one works. No one informed. No one works. No one. How we will survive? This is why Saturn is necessary. This is but Saturn opposition and conjunction transits is very difficult. Be careful. In many cases, this is just difficult because sometimes such aspects is, for example, Sun conjuncts with my son, Saturn conjuncts with my son. My father had heart operation and he became cancer. And when Saturn conjuncts with Mercury, my MC rule, my father died. Okay, I couldn't do anything. This is all. So his transits, this is why great malefic. But this, it doesn't mean he is great man. Just in his transits, difficult aspects, needs to be careful. Square aspect, not also be careful.
Like we have very, people neglect to think like, it really bothers me when people think they don't have, like fate decides everything and whatever. There's definitely timing issues and there's maturation, like us maturing into who we are and these trials that come along, at intervals. But a lot of things don't really happen until we choose. We choose to engage these energies in our life and take responsibility for them and make moves and change our perspective. Because a lot of times, like how something affects you is very much colored heavily by your perspective and how you take these things on. Like if you take every lesson as like, oh, life's beating me up, this life's happening to me, and you're not doing anything actively about it, and you're really a victim, then, and not to say that there are never situations where that's possibly true, but like a lot of times, if you really just shift your perspective, just a couple of degrees, right? Give it a little bigger of an orb, and you change it, like, and you change your approach, and you say, "But thank you for this lesson," and try to really extract the meaning and the value out of it. I think you'll find it really any experience, tragic or happy, like definitely more tragic it is, but like I'd say some of the biggest challenges in life come with a great greater understanding of who you are at your core. And we're not always perfect, but like the fact that we just get through and we adapt and hopefully gain a bigger perspective. Like that is so valuable, you know, I would say. Not that suffering is necessary for learning, but you don't forget those lessons. You don't, and they tend to make you grow more than the easier transits and aspects, and you know, make you more grateful for when they do come around.
Yeah. Just this Saturn aspect, like it transits. Okay, when Saturn transits in second house, people are afraid. Oh, my second house, I will lose my. Okay, if you work hard, Saturn brings really Saturn. Every time I see Saturn about money and Saturn rewards for when Saturn conjuncts with my MC, I promoted as a manager in a fine and my
I just directly on my birthday was the third conjunction of Saturn on my midheaven, and exactly on my birthday. So in my solar return chart, opposite, you know, pretty opposite the IC and Jupiter Lilith right there. So very interesting. And I actually and Jupiter has been in and out of my 10th and is exited again, but I've actually and I've been working, as you probably know, like really hard in several different areas. And today I've got to go in a little while because we're going to work on my website today.
Wow. Wonderful news. Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm very excited. You know, I'm very excited. Healing products. I've really been working hard on these formulations, and I've done a lot of free sampling and trying to help people in different ways. And I've really learned so much, you know, with these restrictions with COVID, like obviously lots of not so great things happen, but I'll tell you some positive things I got out of it was I really had time to delve into some things that really have been calling me, and I've got some great people around me to support that. So we're gonna work on that today. We're gonna try to get these products together and out to people. And we're using, you know, astrological timing. And then you know, my wonderful cohorts are right alongside me, putting energy into these things. And we're really dedicated to really trying to help people help themselves. You know what I'm saying? And just like little tools, you know, little things that can really they at least had a very big impact for me, you know, like in a time that I really felt unshielded from a lot of things. Like there was a lot of things happening, and I was trying to maintain perspective, but sometimes life really does beat you down, and sometimes, you know, we're alchemists, you know, these things that if we really perform these actions mindfully and focus our energy into them, like, I mean, some powerful things can occur with very simple things, you know. And we've been using planetary correspondence. So like the point being, I digress, is that even through a very tough time with a lot of restrictions and a lot of things, I was able to unlock a lot of knowledge, and I think a lot of people were, you know, a lot of people unlocked skills they didn't know they had, or interests they maybe had never explored, or just maybe got a freaking break, for goodness sakes, you know, for a second, you know. And not to say the tragedy didn't happen, but a little silver lining is that we did all have time to take a collective deep breath, you know, and I think it's realigned a lot of people's purpose. I hope that more people produce content or watch content that's different from what the media is trying to portray, because it's a lot of division and it's a lot of control. And the two things that are the most important to me, and I know to you too, is freedom and time. You know,
absolutely,
like
absolutely. You know, time,
Saturn, like that. You just
rules time, Jesse. You know, Saturn, chronos, chronic. We say chronic, or I forgot chronology,
chronological time. But also, you know, nothing makes you appreciate your freedom like your freedom being restricted.
And people, you know, my name is free. Free me. Özgür means free. Freedom is the most important for me.
That's our natural state, is to be free. But if we don't understand what it is to be restricted, like we can, and look, I mean, I think the USA is going through a Pluto return, you know, and people have gotten
Yeah.
so complacent in a way, they just don't want to be bothered. But like, look at the Canadian truckers right now. I am so proud of them. Like, and they're trying to misportray them in the media and
Yeah.
whatever. It's ridiculous because they're trying to detract from the very real issue of, you know, like the fact that we were meant to be free. You know, that is our
Yeah.
natural state. And yes, freedom comes with responsibilities. It does. But if we get complacent, the normal role of government is to restrict us. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it's in place for. But when it starts to overstep, you know, and maybe we need to just question, who knows, you know, I'm still open to a lot of different things and opinions and theories. But one thing I do know is that the natural state for humans to be in is to be free. And
Yeah.
you know, I think our natural state is love. Yes, there's friction. Yes, there's, you know, there's a lot of chaos and entropy in the universe, and we want to order things. They don't
Yeah.
always go according to plan, but like, what a beautiful, beautiful time to be alive and to initiate some really positive change. Like, you know, if there's ever a time for something to move in a really great direction, it's times when things are uncertain, you know, and
Yeah.
that's when we need some unity.
So,
We really
Jesse, in such times, rebellious Uranus, we need them. We need it.
great awakening.
I know many astrologers, they say, okay, I love Uranus, but I know they don't like Uranus. It's unexpected way, but
It's
I
hard
really
to
love.
appreciate it. It is hard to appreciate it all the time, but
Yeah.
it does write our course. It does, you know, it does. It wakes us up. It shakes us awake from getting too complacent.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it's Uranus way of awakening people. Really, I love it.
Electric shock. You know, it's the sudden stroke of
Yeah.
genius. It's sudden. Like, a lot of things tend to be a little more maybe subtle, or like maybe not even so subtle as just like you can see it, like you can see it coming, you know. It's kind of, or if you open your eyes, you can see the signs, or you can look back, hindsight in 2020, and say, oh well, I should have seen this, I should have recognized this. It's like, you did see it, you just downplayed it. And so and that's part of discernment, that's part of growing up. But like, Uranus is like, hello, like, what's it gonna do? You don't know. Like, even looking at it and knowing what it does, you don't know what it's gonna do. You know, maybe it'll do nothing. I doubt that. It's
you know, my favorite planet, Uranus. I love it.
and like, nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. Surprise!
Surprise, sometimes very nasty surprise, but
You know what? Yeah,
I
life
love
is important.
surprise.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
by the
it
way,
was a very lovely surprise to meet you in this life, and I am super delighted. Thank you so much for this, Oscar. I'm really enjoying what you're sharing with everyone and with me. Thank you for being patient with my questions.
oh, I am so happy. You know, your Jupiter is conjunct with IC. This is why. Okay, Jupiter, my ascendant ruler. Understand?
Yeah.
This is why. In past life, you will be together with your past connection, like a Jupiterian person. This is
and like really learning these secrets, learning this wisdom. Like, very, very grateful for expanding awareness and understanding, you know, and mutual work, you know. Like,
yeah, really, really, really. You know, Jesse, I love to discuss with you things. Many things also. Jesse told me something, then in my mind something like you know, lights came to it,
I
lightning.
know. Yeah, same thing, that just straight, like,
Yeah,
oh,
lightning.
oh, like chasing another
Really.
rabbit down a hole. I swear, it's so interesting, and it always happens right after we speak, you know, until we speak again. Like, it's like by the time we speak again, a lot of times it's already culminated into something, and I need to check in with you, I feel like.
Yeah. Oh, Jesse,
and we're
what
so
do you
excited.
think next video together, let's talk about some tarot cards. Especially, I want to discuss with you about chariot card because when this
that's, I mean,
next
real
video.
balance of opposites, you know? And if you waver in your focus, you know, it could really mean a sudden crash, which is just like all of the major heavy hitting planets like summed up in, you know, the card that's Cancerian in nature, but it's very, very masculine. Cancerian.
This is
Cancerian
like
card is the moon.
Like Sun in Cancer, like very Leonic cards, but with Cancerian because Sphinx also Leo.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It's combining those natures because, you know, cancers are so empathic and so very, very in tune and nurturing. Like the other side of that is like once that mastery occurs and they take off forward with this unwavering dedication to really keep that balance. Like, I mean, they can go far. We all have access to this energy.
Very interesting. But we will discuss it in next week. It's okay. Not all information. Also, Jesse, I want to tell people, I will make some videos like a murderer or something. Because, you know,
we need to look at Tesla's chart again. We had a lot of fun going through that.
I will
exploring that.
Make Tesla chart.
Tesla's got a very interesting chart and a very interesting man.
Very mind-blowing information about Tesla chart.
There's so many things, Oscar. So many things.
Friends, we will see you next video, and I hope all of you enjoy with video. And see you next time.
Bye, and bye, my lovely Oscar. I love you so much.
Bye, my dear Jesse. See you, everybody.
Have a good time. I'm gonna go make my website now.